foreign officials and the stakeholders everywhere. There were certain voices in India also that were pointing out that how can we put together with dealing with the foreign voices and the voices of people. So what is difficult for you?
No, I see. It's difficult for a novice. It's not difficult for somebody who's been in the business for a long time. But it is disconcerting because we are not here on our own. We are here because our political parties have stamped the approval and have decided to send us here. And they would have thought about implications and so on. Should we go, should we not go, etc. And once we come here internationally, we have to speak one single language. Are there areas of convergence or areas of agreement that we emphasize? So there is no problem. There is an agreement now. You can't say that there is zero agreement between opposition and the government because in defending the country, in organizing the country against terrorism, etc., there is no difference in opinion. I mean, whether somebody says it or not, there is no difference in opinion. But if there are on some possible dimensions difference of opinion, which are voiced and should be voiced, but they are voiced within the Indian system. Nobody calls up people abroad to say that we disagree and you also help us disagree, etc. Nobody does that. So therefore, it doesn't really become an impediment, but it creates a little bit of a drag. You like to do things which are universally appreciated, but if people start arguing about what you're doing, then it becomes a little bit of a drag. But those of us who are experienced in doing these things, we're not in a sense distracted by it. It's a little, maybe it's a little distressing, but it doesn't distract. Particularly if what is being said at home has nothing to do with what we are doing here. We can't make policies here. We can't change history here. We can't change political ideologies here. All of us preserve them to the extent. And I hope that the government also understands this, that each one of us has to get back to our respective political parties. And we have to obviously do what our political parties would like us to do. And I don't believe that in the manner in which we handle things, that there would be any contradiction or any departure from what we have done. So you don't have to go back and say, I'm sorry I did this, I'm sorry I should not have done that. This is an area on which there is convergence, and I believe that convergence is good for the country because, as I have said again and again, it's the country first and the country that matters, which is the attitude of everybody, whoever is at home or here, anywhere, they have to be there. So that is not the attitude I'm very sorry, I don't know what to say.
I think the delegation sent to these 5 countries, one very important thing that we have been able to achieve and take back is that people from different parties and specifically opposition parties have come together to talk about what happened in Indian soil, how we've been hurt and attacked. I think this is a very strong message we've been able to take to countries, saying that we come as a voice of India. And people have been pleasantly surprised and very happy to see that, not many countries would be able to achieve this, send a delegation, and that too headed by a person from the opposition parties and with the leaders from opposition parties. So that itself is a very strong message we are taking to the world. And also there have been a lot of misinformation which has been repeatedly being spread in a lot of countries, and we have been able to clear that, and people coming in person, reaching out also has a very positive impact on lawmakers and think tanks in many of these countries, and we've also been able to make them understand and go back with very positive responses in fighting terror. No, I think there's just not one moment. I think every moment this delegation met people. It was a very reassuring thing that India comes together as one. When we can have our issues, we can have different ideologies, we come from different political backgrounds, and in Parliament we can have heated arguments. But when it comes to the case of India, we stand as one. We can be, people of India. We can be chosen representatives, whoever it is. We stand together is what the message we brought.
Look, I think this is a time now for us to focus on our mission. Undoubtedly, in a thriving democracy, there are bound to be comments and criticisms, but I think at this point, we can't afford to dwell on them. When we get back to India, no doubt we'll have our chance to speak to our colleagues, speak to our critics, speak to the media there. But right now, we're focused on the countries we're coming to and getting the message out to people. Thank you. Thank you.
People keep saying, what are you doing in a delegation where there are people from the BJP? What are you doing there? Now, what are we doing here? We are doing here is what is needed for the country. No matter which party you're from, today what is needed is a single voice to speak in favor of the nation. And that's what we are doing here. And I think when I say, is it so difficult to be a patriot? That's the question that has to be asked of those who are putting out tweets and saying things that I believe are not very encouraging when you want to do something for the nation.
You wanted to know about the national language. I think the national language of India is unity in diversity. And that is the message this delegation brings to the world. And I think that is the most important thing today. And let us continue with that.